In our day and age, there are lots of experts. Now, not all of them wear a badge saying, hello, I'm an expert, but there are plenty around, and plenty of people who have spent a lot of time building a profile as an expert. And that really has become almost the manifestation of our time. But I am concerned that we have swung too far, and in particular that the pendulum has swung in our society and in all aspects of our society from what I think of as broadly gauged, multidimensional problem solvers to specialist experts, or people who at least define themselves as specialist experts. I've seen that in multiple walks of life. I've seen it in medicine, in government, in education, in law, in accounting, in my own field of management consulting. Now, why is this? Well, lots of reasons. It's an increasingly complex world. There's so much to know. The bar to expertise is so much higher. But I think if you put it down to one single concept, you might sort of assign it to the 10,000 hours rule, which in many ways encapsulated this concept that you've really got to focus and you've really got to put in the time. Malcolm Gladwell famously observed, quoting Daniel Levitin, that in order to develop true mastery in a given field, to achieve the status of a world-class expert, you have to put in at least 10,000 hours. I think that's undoubtedly true. I mean, it's really hard to argue with. Indeed, I suspect 10,000 hours is something of an underestimate of what it takes to achieve mastery, a word I'll keep coming back to, and certainly to achieve world-class expertise. And as I say, we should absolutely want people to put in that kind of time and commitment to develop that kind of expertise. The way I think of it is, if you get on a plane and the pilot comes on the tannoy and says, delighted you're traveling with us, just have to tell you this is the first time I've actually flown. You'd kind of say, or if you went to hospital to have a heart operation and the surgeon said beforehand, actually I really only operate on knees, you'd sort of say, well, I think maybe another time. It would be fine to go down this route of increased specialization, of ultra specialization, if it was working, if it delivered good outcomes, if it always kept us secure, if it avoided unnecessary risks, if it delivered us into sustained progress and a positive trajectory. But demonstrably, that's not the case. We can cite example after example over the last 10, 20, 30 years where we've gone down that route of ultra-specialization and it's gotten us into trouble. Enron was both a technical and a criminal disaster and catastrophe, both for the company and for its employees and shareholders. The BP Deepwater Horizon disaster, similarly, a catastrophe of allowing specialist experts to govern. And most recently, and this continues, so we shouldn't feel like this is over, Equifax, almost according to the CEO, or the now ex-CEO, came down to the failure of one specialist, one person. They had let the company depend upon one specialist to determine their security, or in this case, otherwise. So there's a trail here. There's a trend and a trail of bad things happening when we allow ourselves to become too dependent on specialist experts with insufficient managerial supervision, regulatory supervision, whatever it may be, but insufficient perspective about the implications of what's going on.